the Land of Eternal Dawn, a place we know almost nothing about and understand even less, despite it being one of the most important things in Dragon's Rising right now. And the more we think about it, the less sense it makes. However, one scene in part 1 of Season 4 might actually explain everything. But before we get into that theory, we need to go over everything we currently know about this place. So let's start. Firstly, it's always dawn there. No darkness, no night, just light coming from everywhere with no clear source. And this already feels unnatural, as it's the only location where something like this happens. When ninja were in this place, they were getting whatever they wanted almost instantly. Water, food, and cats. It felt like heaven, a perfect place, but at the same time, something that tries to keep you there, almost like a mechanism designed to trap you, to make the ninja stay there despite them having a mission to complete. And when they finally leave, we can see one of the cats disappearing into thin air, like an illusion. The same would be for the inscription that Dr. LaRoe found there, but unlike everything else, it didn't disappear, which raises a bigger question. Was it ever an illusion to begin with? Maybe it was just an ancient plate laying there for centuries, or there are some more secrets that we are yet to discover. Then there's Master, possibly Zarkar, most possibly. The one that might be actually controlling this place. How else could he be able to move Shadow Dojo and the Wolf Mask army there in Season 2? Let's not forget about the Monastery of Monasteries, which is there too. He is clearly a very powerful being, and I believe his power is somewhat connected to this place. And the gates are another important detail, because it might be the only way to reach this place, except for teleportation of course, but I believe it requires a lot of energy from Master and cannot be done every single minute. So basically it's a way to move between realms, and maybe that's why they captured Master with Ghost and moved the Monastery of Monasteries to this land. And finally, the source icons. We already know that Ras is gathering the source icons with the ultimate goal of reversing the merge, but what if this place is actually necessary for this plan to work? Because it's not just some random place. It might be the most important location of Dragon's Rising, maybe even the place where the final battle will happen, and maybe the only place where reversing the merge is actually possible. And with all of that in mind, now we can finally talk about the moment that might explain everything. One of Lloyd's visions from episode 5 of season 4. Around the 7 source dragon symbols appear 18 rings, each symbolizing a different realm. But one of them suddenly turns red and drifts away. That's most likely the Land of Eternal Dawn, which already tells us something important. This realm isn't like the others. Now, let's go back to the moment when 3 source dragons left the Source Dragon Council. Suddenly, all the elemental powers fell into chaos and stopped functioning properly. But before that happened, the powers connected to the Source of Balance were still functioning normally, even though the Source Dragon of Balance was already gone. And this can only mean one thing, that the power still exists, but it's no longer controlled by a Source Dragon. And here's where it gets interesting. The Source Dragon of Balance is dead. We don't know anything about its death, but what if Ras Master had something to do with it? What if he killed the dragon and absorbed the Source of Balance? That would honestly explain everything. Why his powers are so similar to the Source Dragons. For instance, when Ras floats into the sky to talk to his master, it looks almost like Lloyd and his visions from Source Dragons. And that would also explain why he isn't showing himself in person and sending Ras to do the work for him instead. Because he is just too powerful, just like Source Dragons. They don't show up unless something really important happens or they're in danger, of course. These are extremely powerful beings, but in order to keep the world in balance, they have to stay in the Source Dragon Void. The same applies for Ras Master. He can't leave his void, as the Source of Balance is too powerful for him, and it could have fatal consequences not only for him, but for the entire universe. And maybe that's the reason for creating the Land of Eternal Dawn. Maybe it's the only place where he can use his powers without any consequences, and honestly, that makes a lot of sense to me, but it's also kind of crazy. Okay, so he's in control of the Source of Balance, And with that power he was able to create this place, because anyone can create their own realm as long as they have enough power, and with the source of balance I think it was no problem for him. And now we can finally explain that red ring drifting away. It's not just a random visual. It represents the fact that this realm is outside the system. It's not under the control of the source dragons like the others. It's independent. It's a realm created by someone from outside the council, and that's where the source of balance becomes crucial. Because if there's one force that can hold everything together, even when something exists outside the system, it's balance. And I think only because it's the source of balance, this universe is still somehow holding together. So yeah, putting everything together, this theory suggests that Rust's master, possibly Zarkar, killed the source dragon of balance, took its power and used it to create a realm outside of the normal order. A hidden place. A controlled place. Yeah, the land of eternal dawn. And if this is actually true, this isn't just some mysterious realm. It's the key to everything that's about to happen, connecting all the plots together, and maybe the only place where reversing the merge can actually happen. Everything leads to this one location that might be where the fate of the merged lands will be decided.